You guys, so there was a big controversy that exploded on Reddit the other day about why beauty standards that apply to women don't apply to men. And there's two camps. There's a camp of people saying that men are just pretending not to care because if they do, it'll hurt their ego. And there's another camp of people saying that, well, men don't need to care about something as lowly as body positivity. Caring about your body shape is such like a womanly issue. So I texted a bunch of my guy friends to see what they thought, and you will never believe what they said. Sam and I were in bed the other day and we were both on our phones as we normally are before we go to bed. I know it's a bad habit, but we do it. Anyway, he turned over and was like, Cassie, you really need to read this post on Reddit. Why are there no plus size or short male models? And it had over 20.6K upvotes. You guys already know that I love the body positive movement and what it has done for media, for advertisements. We see so much more diversity. I decided to take a stroll through Target the other day just to kind of see what the diversity in mannequins look like for females versus males. I don't know if you've ever done that, but it was actually really, really interesting because right there in the store is basically the entire point of this video. So when you're looking in the female section of the store, you see body diversity, different shapes and sizes, okay? And then when you go to the male side, you kind of only see one type of mannequin. He's lean, he's fit, he has abs and pecs, and you don't really see anything else. That's it. And when you look at advertisements, you kind of see the same thing happening again. There's a lot of diversity in female clothing advertising. I think a lot of this started with Aerie, and when they began to showcase different body types, a lot of other retailers started following in the same footsteps because they saw the dollar signs. And regardless of the intention, whether they really wanted to showcase other bodies or they wanted to rake in more dollars, it's happening in media, it's happening in advertisements, and I think that is a good thing. And on the flip side, when you look at male-focused advertisements and male brands, you don't see that diversity. You again see that kind of ideal athletic lean body look. Are there male plus size models? Is that a thing? I really dove into this and started reading all the comments on Reddit. I wrote a blog post about it in response to why are there no plus size or short male models. I don't give a about media representation. My short A is just trying to find pants that fit. And there was just an entire thread about how men couldn't find pants that fit and how that was actually the struggle, not the representation struggle. It just felt very pragmatic. Body positivity is for women. Men are expected to face reality. Kind of sounds like body positivity is for the weak, aka women, and men are strong so they can face reality. Moving on, I went onto my blog post and there was a comment from Pamela. Her husband said this: your typical assumed straight male doesn't even care to see other men's bodies at all and are probably not scrutinizing the model or consciously comparing themselves. Models are only necessary because clothes look like fabric sacks if they're not on a person. So of course the sellers are going to try to advertise their wares in the best possible light by portraying them on the most conventionally attractive models. Going back to that very pragmatic, like, well, of course you would put it on that body type because it looks the best type of attitude. But then it made me wonder, do men actually care, and are they just saying they don't care? I don't think that it's because they care less, but rather that caring would be a significantly worse blow to their identity. So I got really interested about this and decided to look up toxic masculinity because I know nothing about it, and here are some descriptions of what that is. Suppressing emotions or masking distress, maintaining an appearance of hardness, violence as an indicator of power, think tough guy behavior. Then I went back on Reddit to see all of the perspectives surrounding this conversation, and I was able to find someone from the other side, although it only had 3 points. So from Simon Charles, he says that pretty much all men I know have these issues and suffer for it, but they don't speak about them. If you open your eyes and watch men's reactions when women talk about baldness, shortness, etc., you'll see they're silently taking it. The uncomfortable expressions are there. Men know that they'll be shamed for opening up. That's why they say, I don't give a Laura says that it's only with my closest friends during deep discussions that they'll admit to these feelings. Maybe it's not widespread, but I do know how it affects my male friends. Body image issues do exist for men. They just don't talk about it and they super suppress it, because if they do talk about it, they run the risk of seeming too feminine or emotional and therefore weak and not tough and successful like how a guy should be. Men and women are just held to two really different standards of beauty. Women are told that they need to look young, and we've bought into this because we bought into the creams, we bought into the plastic surgery that goes along with it, whereas men, they apparently look sexier as they get older, and they like those wrinkles and they like that peppered hair. And it's just so interesting and I think unfair that that's how standards of beauty are judged for men versus women. Then I got super interested in this and I was like, are there male plus size models out there? Like, who are they? I found a list and there's a guy named Kelvin Davis with 92,000 followers. We've got Zach Miko with 88K and Ricardo Ornorato with 78.9. So those followings are really small in comparison to female body positive plus size models. So let me just show you. You got Ashley Graham with 11.3 million followers. Then you got my friend Iskra with 4.5 million followers and Tess Holiday with 2.1 million followers. So what is that saying? Because when you are following someone on social media, that pretty much is a private thing. So if guys really wanted to see other guys that look like them, they would just follow the male plus size model, right? So you can kind of see what the desire for that is. And maybe that's why the stores don't have plus size male mannequins, because there isn't that desire for it. I just know from looking at Sam's feed that he follows a lot of athletes and business leaders. Men aren't as focused on their appearance because they're focused on the accomplishments, on the power, on maybe the money and like stuff like that, not like physical body vessel stuff. Whereas women are so focused on their appearance that they need leaders in the space who look like them so that, you know, we can feel better, we can feel more represented. Because there's been centuries of men and media telling women what they should look like, that only now through the body positive movement are we healing. Whereas men didn't have to endure centuries of you don't look good enough. Really, it's just more like you need to win wars and make money and provide for your family. It just hasn't really ever been about the way that they look. I feel a little bit out of place talking about all this stuff because I'm not a guy. So I decided to talk to Sam. I asked him if he wanted to see more diversity in the arena of representation of body types for men. And for your reference, Sam is like a mid-sized guy, and he said he didn't really think it was necessary. Then I had him text one of his guy friends who's like a much bigger, like taller guy. And his response was, I've never really thought about that. But maybe if I could see a tuxedo or something more form-fitting on my body, that might be cool. But at the end of the day, I don't really care. Then I texted my other guy friend who is shorter. He's like, you know, I'm really thinking about this, and honestly, how it's done now is fine, because if I saw a body that actually represented my body, I might not want to buy it because I could see how bad it would look. And then he just kind of laughed it off. I talked to a gay friend of mine and asked him his opinion on how he would want to see clothes represented. And he said that in the gay community, there is a little bit of a body positive revolution happening right now, like very, very small, but he can see it starting to happen. And that when he sees clothes on guys that are like super buff and ripped, sometimes it makes him feel bad. So those are the responses that I got in my circle of friends, and it looks like it pretty much reflects the Reddit thread, with a lot of people saying they literally don't care, and then some people saying that yeah, it does affect them. So leave your comments down below. I'm so curious and intrigued by this topic. I want to hear what you think and what the men in your life think. All right, you guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to hang out a little bit more, go ahead and watch these videos right here, and I will see you next time. Bye.